Ian, you want to talk about Nintendo Switch Online?
I do want to talk about Nintendo Switch Online.
And new expansion pass details and pricing.
I do, because it's a load of horse shit. It's a load of horse shit.
How do you really feel, Ian?
Like it's a load of poops. So I was wildly off. Just gonna, come clean right here, admit that. Never afraid to hide from being wrong. I was real wrong on my estimate of what this was going to bump up to. I thought this was going to go to $34.99 for the year, and I thought $34.99 for the $44.99 for the year family plan, and I thought it was going to be like $25 or $30 for the single player or the single user accounts. No, it's going to be $49.99 per year
for one
person.
Okay.
And $79.99 per year for the family plan. That is an increase of $30 on the standard plan, the single user plan, and an increase of $45 for the family plan. And what do you get? Well, you get the same not great online service that Nintendo has been pushing for years. Love Nintendo, love the Switch, but let's call a spade a spade. Their online, the actual network is not particularly great. It really depends on games. It's not good for Smash. It's fine for Mario Kart. It's fine for, it seems fine for like Splatoon and stuff like that. But it doesn't seem fine for like their online, like the NES and Super Nintendo games.
Sure.
And obviously one of the big things people are going to want to do with their expansion pass is play some of those N64 games like Mario Kart 64 and stuff like that online.
Oh, sure.
Unless they've got like, some sort of matchmaking server thing they're going to set up and shove out the door, at some point. I don't see that being worth it. It just seems kind of silly. Now,
so you're getting the library of N64 games and Sega Genesis games we talked about.
Yes.
And to start, that's going to be like, we'll just say, 30 to 40 games you get out the door.
Yep.
Well, and there'll be more added, so you get that.
Well, okay, here's the thing. There'll be more added. Let's look at what Nintendo's done with the NES and the Super Nintendo stuff in the past. It gets usually one or two more big additions, and then you get a lot of smaller stuff. Smaller stuff that I personally enjoy, but not stuff that ever gets anyone else excited. So, sure. It's if you go based on what they've shown in the past, I'm sorry, there's not a whole lot of reason to get your hopes up about their further support for these. I mean, I know there's games that they said they showed as coming out in the future that are not out yet that we'll probably get, but I don't think it's going to be an incredibly deep dive into the N64 library.
We don't know.
That remains to be seen.
They have a decent amount of first party stuff. They have Wave Race. They got 1080.
Like I said, it remains to be seen.
The original Super Smash.
But their past efforts have not been overwhelming.
They have enough first party stuff, but again, it goes back to the library. It's not like the other consoles that have dozens of these sort of games that are familiar to all. It's a meme now, but so yeah, there's like 20 games everyone knows about in the N64 at most. So that's about it.
To
run out.
Kind of wrap up my take on it. There's a couple other things.
Wrap up. We're just starting.
Well, I mean, wrap up my initial salvo so that you can get some words in.
Your preamble.
Yeah, my preamble. It does include the $25 expansion for Animal Crossing.
Happy Home Paradise.
We have not really talked about the Animal Crossing update. There's a bunch of stuff coming for free that looks great. That also I feel like should have been in from the start. I don't know that I'm going to go back to it. Maybe. I'm happy that everyone enjoys it, but this entry kind of left me feeling flat, to be honest. The Happy Home Paradise stuff, for instance, Vani really loved Happy Home Designer. That is probably going to be its own full feeling expansion game type, where the original Happy Home Designer was a 3DS game where you designed houses for the guests, for like the villagers, but you had more control over it. So it's fun if you're into the design aspect. Going back. So they include that DLC. If you don't play Animal Crossing, or if you're not going to go back to it, that's not a huge sell. However, if they start including stuff with the service at a regular interval, then maybe DLC or games or something, like how Sony gives away games every month, Microsoft gives away games every month, and they're usually good games. If Nintendo started doing something like that, and I don't think they would, not with their first party titles, then I could see this being worth a little bit more. And the only other thing I can say is that this now puts them on par with Sony and
Yeah, those are $60, right? Xbox Gold is
Microsoft.
60.
Yeah, you could oftentimes get it for 50 if you wait and get it on sale. I think it's 50. I don't think they have as reasonable of a family plan, but I could be wrong. So when you compare it to everything else, they're on par. But for a long time, that was a big thing in people's pockets when it came to Nintendo, is that Nintendo's
so
online
cheap.
service was so cheap and so much more affordable.
That's why I always said it's only $20 a year compared to everything else.
And I have a feeling that they're going to phase out the old membership plan at some point.
You think so?
I do.
I'm not sure about that, but
We'll see.
it's an interesting calculus on this, because the fact that they're throwing in this Happy Home Paradise at no additional cost, we don't know what the cost would be yet.
Yeah, we do.
Have we?
$24.99.
We do. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a
You
$20,
did.
it's
Okay,
a $25 expansion.
Okay, I didn't see it. Sorry. So if you have planned to get this, for you, it's only $25. It's only an extra $5 a year versus what you're paying right now, and you're getting all the other goodies that you didn't have before.
Like I said, as a one-time thing, it's not that
Sure.
impressive.
But we
if
don't
they
know-
do this going forward, then all of this, then my attitude might change. But Nintendo is asking me to be
To have faith.
to have faith when
Yeah.
I don't have a reason to be faithful.
I'm
Or,
not-
I don't have a reason to have that faith yet.
I'm not an Animal Crossing person, but if I was, this is a no-brainer to get that because of that. Because it's only
Sure.
20. It's only. There's not that much difference in change to upgrade at that point. If I was planning on getting the expansion,
Right, you buy the expansion for an extra $5.
You get all the-
doing the math, you get all the N64.
and obviously they did the math, Nintendo.
stuff. Sure.
Because there's over, was it 35, 36 million people that have Animal Crossing.
The question is,
That's a lot of people.
How many of them have they pissed off? Because they've pissed off a lot of them. I mean, that
Prior
game,
to this,
yeah, because that game they really trickled out the updates and
okay.
held back. And that's my problem with the game. The game feels like a skeleton compared to what it used to be. They really leaned on the crafting, kind of filling in all these other gaps.
There's
that made
less
it-
events and things.
Yeah, it feels less like a lived-in world.
But you don't pay a subscription fee to play it. You
Right.
know, it's not a games as a service is not
Yes.
something Nintendo's used to doing.
Yeah, but previous Animal Crossings haven't been games as service. That's the thing. It's all been in there.
Well, Nintendo wants to get a piece of it. I guess that's what they're
It's
trying
all
to do.
been in there.
That's what they're
so
trying
I
to
think I think what they're hoping is that people come back for this 2.0 update, get back into it, and say, "Hey, I want this DLC as well."
Yeah. If they did this with regular game intervals, like, okay, you're going to get, say if you didn't buy the Breath of the Wild, DLC, would give it to you. Something like that. Or,
So, for instance, if they release the new Zelda and they say, "Hey, if you're a member of our expansion pass program, you'll get these DLCs
Yeah.
on release date for
yeah,
free,"
or something like that. Like, it's because
then it's suddenly
it's value added.
Yes.
Because obviously I thought, I didn't, when I said it was going to be like $30, $5-10, I didn't assume they were going to throw in, a AAA title, the most popular game on the system was going to they were going to give you the expansion on that expansion DLC. So that aside, when you take out that value, it's still about only $5 more. I'm not making excuses, but this is bad. This is bad marketing, because when you look at it like this, you don't know what else is coming. This can't be it.
that's on them, though.
Yeah, that's on. Yeah, it's
And
on
like I
Nintendo.
said,
this can't.
they
be
have
it.
said this is not all that's coming before, and have let people down
Yeah.
wildly. So
Yeah,
I'm not
there's-
interested.
There's got to be more than this.
Get a hold of me in 6 months.
There's got to be another free game, or hell, fucking bring back fucking Super Mario 99.
35, but yeah.
Oh, 35. Damn, I confused it with the shitty Pac-Man one. Bring back Super Mario 35. If you did that alone, and I know it'd be shitty, I think people would be like, okay, we get it. You need money to keep it like.
Look,
we
it's a
get it.
business. If that's I would feel less bad about that.
Yes, I'm still pissed about that Super Mario. I had fun playing that game. A lot of fun. I would have paid $10-20 just to have the game.
Yeah.
Always there, available.
Because as of now, I think a lot of people are going to get this. They're going to get those games. They're going to play them for fucking 15 minutes. They're never going to touch them again. And then that's that.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm shocked. I mean, obviously with the family thing, if you divide it up between people, if me and Ian, if I get it out together and it's like whatever, then it's not, then it's like whatever,
The
$15
family
a
plan
year.
is still a good deal.
You gotta find people.
It's a big fucking increase in price. I would never.
Well, it's only $10 each. Then if you get, was it 8 people?
I would never expect $85. I would not expect the value of Nintendo and
The value.
well,
You didn't think they were going to reach Sony and Microsoft costs?
no, but it was always a possibility.
Oh, Nintendo. We are critical of Nintendo. See, we're not always, licking them up, slobbing on them, are we? No. By the way, it's like 25 games on launch between the Genesis and N64. It's about like 14 Genesis, about 9 or 10 N64 on launch. But that's a big increase for that alone. Someone like me, I think you have the Animal Crossing folks, and you have me who never doesn't play it. For me, I would not upgrade to this. I'm not going to, because I don't have interest in it, in Animal Crossing. So it's almost like you almost wanted a third tier. I hate to say, you almost wanted, like, here's the tier with just the games, and then here's a tier to get the DLC for a game you may or may not own. But obviously, over like half the people have the game, who have this. Actually less than half, because now this switches up to like 90 million or so, 95 million.
Is it really? Jesus.
You can't keep track anymore. It's going to bust through Wii by this holiday.
I mean,
with
the
OLED.
PlayStation 5 just broke a 33 month long streak of the Switch being the best selling console, and that's insane.
89 million, and that was of the last financial. So we're into the 90s probably.
Yeah.
Oh, that was in August, 89 million. So we're in the 90s, for sure. So we're gonna beat the Wii. Nintendo's gonna beat the Wii after the holiday season. So, yeah. All right. Well, there you go. I guess we'll see what happens. Nintendo usually doesn't back down when they announce something. They're not gonna be like, "Oh, sorry, we charged too much," or they'll announce more things. Though I think they will have to. It's gonna be probably a regular part going forward of their directs, saying, "Oh, here's what we're offering for this tier. Here's what's coming out." And,
yeah, I think they really needed to highlight that better in their initial run. But again, I at this point, I don't. Even if they said that, I think there's a lot of people like me who they need to wait and see some evidence before they.
Sure. Oh yeah, I think you'd be foolish to sign up right away for something like that, unless you really want those Genesis and N64 games. But for $30, that's a little bit much, I think, for a lot of people.
There's other ways.
There's lots of other ways to play those old games. Absolutely, yes.